Parental discretion advised.
This civilian talk. If you listen to that bullshit, that ain't even smart. Have you spewing out fake news? Get you ripped apart. But this Mr. P.I. and this civilian talk. Hey.
Yo, it's your boy Mr. P.I. coming straight at you. Bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up America news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. You feel me? Listen, it's ugly out there, folks. They talking about motherfuckers that took the AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson, the virus vector vaccines, may have monkeypox already, or smallpox-like viruses and shit. So today, you know what I'm saying, Alex Jones predicted the monkeypox outbreak. You know what I'm saying? We got, everybody knows Bill Gates is behind the monkeypox outbreak. We got the New World Order prepares their final attack. We have a flashback. Woman sick after coming in contact with CDC lab monkeys. It's a complete clown show on Joe's been hiding in administration forefront and shit. You know what I'm saying? The new press secretary, they no longer have Plucky Duck or Raggedy Ann, we like to call her and shit. You know what I'm saying? They actually went to a diversity hire. You know what I'm saying? Before I get started, I like to motherfucking point out the fact that if we just hire people based on their color and not on their job skills, we're doomed. If you see an application for a rocket scientist and you don't have rocket science experience, but they hire you because of the color you are and shit, that company will be doomed. So it's the same thing, man. If a motherfucker ain't got no press secretary experience or press speaking in front of the press on a regular basis and shit experience and shit, they should not be hired for press secretary jobs. We got so much to talk about today and shit, man. And I got one question, man. Actually, one statement. Now look at you. You fell for the fucking fake news, and now it's completely, everything is just completely fake news. I'll be back on the other side and shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch, and remember, get your weed ready, your lighter handy, and remember, it's our show and shit. We're about to go the fuck in, so you're about to learn some real serious shit. And if you've been following this, then you know the shit we talk about is completely real. So don't move your motherfucking switch. I'll be back on the other motherfucking side. And it's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Yo, it's your boy, Mr. P. You already know, coming straight at you. Listen, I appreciate all the support you bring to the show. I appreciate all the time you take out to listen to the show. But remember, just holding that information hostage is selfish as hell. You already know. So remember, you got to share the show. You know what I mean? Please continue to support the show on Cash App and PayPal. You already know. Remember, at Mr. P.I. 55. You already know. There's no other Mr. P.I. 55. There's only Mr. P.I. 55. You already know. And listen, I want you to know how much we appreciate your airspace. I want you to know how much we appreciate you trying to wake yourself up. I want you to know how important it is for all of us to come together and say no to this tyrannical environment we're living in. You already know. I want to say thanks again. You know, get your weed ready, your lighter handy, and understand that if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. So, listen, it's our show. And remember, it's your boy. Hey, Joe, was it you or Trump that said everybody should be vaxxed and boosted?
Tonight, we come here to answer a very important question in everybody's mind. Why in the hell are we still doing this? I know there are questions about whether we should gather here tonight because of COVID. Well, they're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. This is first time the president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague, followed by 2 years of COVID. Just imagine if my predecessor came to this dinner this year. Now that would really have been a real coup if that occurred. I'm not really here to roast the GOP. A lot of people say the Republican Party is too extreme, too divisive, too controlled by one person. Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear this wall down. Today's Republicans say, tear down Mickey Mouse's house. The Republicans seem to support one fella, some guy named Brandon. He's having a really good year. I'm kind of happy for him. They're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. They're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. Fox News, I'm really sorry.
Well, why?
Your preferred candidate lost the last election. To make it up to you, I'm happy to give my chief of staff to you all so we can tell Sean Hannity what to say every day. Trevor's great. When I was elected, he did the show and he called me America's new dad. Let me tell you something, pal. I'm flattered anybody would call me a new anything. You're my guy. You've heard me say many times that here in America, good journalism, good satire about our leaders is quintessentially an American thing. There's not a damn thing this country can't do when we stand united and do it together. They're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. They're all here. Vaxxed and boosted.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to a YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button. Whoa!
Yeah, we back. What's good, folks, man? So happy to be with you. Happy birthday to myself. I started this show on May 23rd after 12 o'clock and shit, you know what I'm saying? So happy birthday to me. You know what I'm saying? My birthday is May 23rd. You already know. Nah, man, shout out to everybody that's fucking with your boy. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the show. Shout out to everybody that loves to hear what's really going on in the world and not just this bullshit that they try and pass off as news. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man. If you're new here, I got one birthday wish. Just stick around for the whole show. That's it. You know what I mean? It's not even going to be as long as our previous shows. Just stick around for it, though, because I need you to motherfucking know what's going on, folks. You know what I'm saying? We can sit around here and act like ain't shit really happening, but y'all know it's some shit going on, man. I mean, do you gotta be a rocket scientist to figure out the fact that, you know what I'm saying, the COVID shit was just motherfucking dog training? You have to be a rocket scientist to see that, you know what I'm saying, the shit we believe to be true turned out to be false? Well, not on this show, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we get down. We chase the truth. You know what I mean? Even if sometime I mispronounce some shit or, you know, say a number wrong or whatever the fuck, y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? I try my damn hardest to bring y'all the actual information. That's why I give y'all the information portals that I find my fucking information through, so you can go cover my tracks and retrace my steps and shit and find out what the fuck is going on. Now, if you've been here a while, y'all know a conspiracy theory is, I always call them out. I say, this is a conspiracy theory of mine. If I find it to be true with actual factual evidence and shit, we definitely re-bring it up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Rebrand it as that fake news shit, you know what I'm saying? And call out the fake news and shit, you know what I'm saying? We don't rebrand it as fake news. We rebrand it as, we keep it as real news, but we basically compare it to the fake news and come up to a motherfucking conclusion and shit about everything that we talking about and shit. Now, the crazy part is, yeah, man, I told y'all that, you know, motherfuckers was gonna get slumped, you know, potentially from this, these COVID shots and shit, you know what I'm saying? We told y'all that it was gonna kill your immune system. Turns out all that's actual factual and shit. We told y'all it had the ability to, you know, create blood clots, myocarditis, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We bring you the actual science on the shit. You know what I'm saying? And we take pride in that because we don't want to be, you know, the people that get you killed. We want to be the people that saved your life. You know what I'm saying? So we take pride in the fact that we bring you real news. We take pride in the fact that you fuck with us because of the type of information we bring to the table and shit. You know what I'm saying? And we love that. That's why we continue to bring the same type of information the same way, you know what I'm saying? Still cussing y'all niggas the fuck out because y'all not fucking listening and shit. And y'all not trying to fucking understand what the fuck the ramifications is if we get caught slipping extra fucking hard. But, you know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there right now and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you gotta love life, right? You know what I'm saying? I fucking love life. I love living. I love waking up to see my wife and kids and shit, have a wonderful day and shit. You know what I'm saying? I love waking up to my wife and kids and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad I ain't post birth abort mines, you know what I'm saying? Like some of you lefty losers is out here wishing that you could post birth abort your babies and shit, which is actually fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? But some of y'all want what y'all want. Y'all gonna get what y'all want, and it is what it is from there and shit. You know what I'm saying? Absolute insanity, though. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, like how the fuck can you post birth abort somebody and shit? That's murder. You know what I'm saying? But some of these motherfucking people on the planet need to be post birth aborted right now. I'm trying to get fucking Bill Gates post birth aborted right now. You know what I'm saying? Klaus Schwab need to be post birth aborted, all that shit. Like all these niggas need to be post birth aborted, bro. You know why? Because they trying to kill fucking humanity. So I went back, started watching Wayward Pines again and shit. Now a lot of y'all may not know what Wayward Pines is. It's a fantastic show. Came out on Fox around the time Empire came out and shit. So Empire came out and they dropped Wayward Pines at the same time. Now a lot of people wasn't hip to Wayward Pines, but if you look and watch Wayward Pines, you'll see that this it was this guy David Pilcher and shit or whatever and shit. He went and found, you know, different people from different aspects and walks of life and shit. You know what I'm saying? And put them in cryogenesis, hyperbaric chambers and shit, you know what I'm saying? And put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And when they woke up, supposedly 2,000 years later, the world was basically covered in, they called them aberrations and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the aberrations was basically these mutant humans and shit, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, basically, you know, we don't know how they mutated, we don't know how they became who they are and shit, we don't know how this shit happened, but, you know what I mean, they was like psychic fucking cannibals and shit, you know what I'm saying, and it was weird as shit. I advise you to go check that joint out. It's definitely a great watch and shit. Y'all always know I give y'all the best suggestions on great watches and shit, you know what I'm saying. It's a fantastic watch and shit, you know what I'm saying. Y'all really need to check it out and shit, because this is what's happening, the gene editing and you know what I mean, all the scientific, you know, mad science shit that they got going on right now and shit is basically all looks like it's coming to a head as far as Wayward Pines is concerned. So the dude used to talk about how motherfuckers would be, you know, genetically modified, and the only way to skip the, you know, that phase of walk of life and shit is to basically, you know, carve out an installation into a mountain and shit, put everybody in it, find a city that's close by it, and preserve it, you know what I'm saying, and stay in hypersleep until, you know, they was ready to come out. And according to the scientists' bull calculations and shit, 2,000 years was supposed to be long enough for the world to basically restart, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the mass GMO, the mass, you know, gene editing and all that shit, the mass mutations and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Then turn around, these niggas basically avoided the end of the world and shit just to come back inside of the end of the world and realize that everything is gone, society is done, and there's really no way back for the most part and shit, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was pretty cool, you know what I mean? Because I'm into like that sci-fi shit, but certain shit got subliminal messages. Now, I was wondering why they canceled the show. I'm like, is it because don't nobody watch the show? Or is it because they realize that people realize that this is a message and shit, you know what I'm saying? And normally, when people find messages inside of different shows and shit, what ends up happening is, you know, they like to take the show off because they, you know, it's supposed to be fantasy, but they see that you see through the facade, excuse me, that is not fantasy, is actually a message of a potential reality and shit. So, you know me, I like to stay on the sideline with most of this shit, you know what I'm saying? And I like to motherfucking stay informed. And I always see the little tidbits inside the tidbits and shit, you know what I'm saying? But, dog, niggas that took this shot, you know what I'm saying, is y'all got compromised immune systems. Now, after Bill Gates said, oh, well, you know, a smallpox-like virus could come out and just destroy humanity. You know, after he came out and said that shit, you know, everybody kind of went on high alert, like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? Because, you know, you run around talking about humanity and us becoming, you know, something else and shit, you know what I'm saying? And us taking shots and smallpox and a bioterrorist and all this cool ass shit, but at the whole time, he telling us what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He telling us what the globalists are planning to do and shit. He's the head of the medical wing of the Great Reset. You got a nigga in charge of the banking system. You got a head of the shit, you know, Klaus Schwab. You got fucking George Soros. You got all the motherfucking known billionaires and motherfucking lefty fucking losers and communists and shit. Basically rounding us all up and shit, getting us ready for motherfucking concentration camps, all types of shit, mass incarceration, forced inoculation, and re-education and shit. Y'all remember I was talking about that shit a long time ago. Well, that's because Hillary Clinton was talking about that shit. And now, you know, after the Trump years and shit, Hillary didn't make it in. Now, all of a sudden, this shit coming to fruition super fast. You know what I mean? I'm one of them people where, you know, I call a spade, and there's a lot of fucking spades out here right now and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But we're going to get into the show, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and that's never comfortable and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I need y'all to understand that, you know, if you took the AstraZeneca or the Johnson & Johnson, the virus vector vaccines, it's a good possibility you already are infected with the smallpox virus and shit, or smallpox-like virus, because a lot of people are basically correlating those two shots to the monkey virus, the monkeypox virus outbreak and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very interesting and shit, because a lot of people are asleep to what the fuck is going on right now, and, you know, we try to wake people up regularly, you know what I'm saying, because we love y'all and we want the best for y'all and shit. But y'all could, man, obviously something is wrong with society and shit. We can sit here and try to, you know, act like we know, you know, everything that's happening and all that shit and what's popping and shit, and you can think any fucking thing, but does that make it factual? No. You know what I'm saying? But when you're confronted with proof, you feel me? Does that make it factual? Quasi, you know what I'm saying? Because then somebody could argue, well, what's proof? You know, if you believe it and I don't believe it and shit, is it still proof? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people refuse to believe what the fuck is going on right now. I don't know, you know, whatever their reasoning is or whatever the case may be and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's not good, because the more motherfuckers on the stupid train, there's going to be the more motherfuckers on the death train and shit. And I ain't trying to be on that midnight train to Georgia, y'all. You feel me? Fucking love y'all. And We're gonna get it popping and shit. Just because I feel like it's time to get it fucking popping and shit. You already know. Peter McCullough exposes Bill Gates' plan for the next lockdown, the truth about monkeypox. Let's do it.
It's self-limited, Alex. It's easily treated with these drugs. It's mainly a cutaneous skin lesion. The only mortality that occurs is in regions where there is no general medical care support when patients do get more ill, get dehydrated, etc.
But, people should really examine this very closely, though. I mean, suddenly he's talking about this monkeypox. I mean, I remember looking in a tropical disease book years ago. I used to hang out in Africa, and those same pictures of those children that were infected with it, those are 30 years old. And then, suddenly he's talking about the next pandemic that's headed our way. And then just what prescience? And then, so I don't know if you guys remember, it was 2003. There were guinea pigs that were housed with Ghana pouch rats. I mean, what kind of bizarre pets that people have. The guinea pigs got it from the Ghana pouch rats that were brought in from Africa, and then it spread to about 70 people in the United States. There was no hysteria and talk of we need to buy 32 million doses of vaccines. We've now been conditioned
that vaccine
to be
hyper-vigilant
and hyper-alert to this kind of thing.
We're being turned into hysterical
ninnies.
Exactly. What's the word? Hypochondriacs.
It's true. I have to tell you, you have such a lead time on this illness. There should be absolutely no panic. It's almost analogous to chickenpox and someone having lots of pustular vesicular lesions. It's readily identified. We can manage this. The treatment is actually very well tolerated. TPOXX drug taken twice a day is perfectly fine. We don't need 13 million doses of a vaccine and have people start.
Clearly, it's more hysteria.
Yeah, I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The hysteria not gonna fucking stop this shit. You know what I'm saying? But they conditioning y'all to believe that whatever answer they provide is the correct answer. Let's continue.
And Dr. Peter McCullough and John Leake. He's a best-selling true crime author that has reverse engineered their operations, and you guys are knocking out of the park describing what really went on. We want to get more into the propaganda. We're also going to talk some about Bill Gates predicting the smallpox, monkeypox, and so much more.
I can tell you that we've never had so much news regarding microbial threats to the human population, and one can only surmise that so much of this is contrived.
There's a lot of hype, and as you said earlier, John, it's a PR sales campaign. So when you see a PR sales campaign for like the new Mustang, the new Mustang's coming out, or the new Tesla, and they're just telling you the new thing's coming. We're going to take all your rights. We're going to save you.
Yeah, they call it, a funny friend of ours out in Utah said the other day, they call it Operation Warp Speed. It's actually Operation Warp Spend. It's warp spend. So public health crisis, mass fear, everybody's terrified. Oh my goodness, we'll do anything we can to, any kind of, no matter how much it costs, get out the checkbook, start printing. So it triggers, like the financial crisis in 2008, it triggers a flood of money purportedly to deal with the emergency. So that what happens is
how many trillions extra got issued by the major governments? Has anybody, if you quantify, I haven't done it. How many trillions got issued worldwide by different governments?
So the CARES Act of March 26, 2020 created overnight 10% of the U.S. GDP. Just like that.
Damn.
Just with a click of a...
I wonder why we have inflation.
Right. And then but just think of the bonanza, though. If you are positioned, as these guys were, because they'd been working on this
for years,
publishing their prospectus.
They're in control of the world medical response.
Correct. So all of this money, you have then positioned your nets. You're like a fisherman who's ready for the school to swim right in your nets. So they got away with this. And here we have the same guys, the usual suspects. They're at it again with monkeypox.
Here we go. The news just popped. Monkeypox, an orthopox virus that is in the same family as smallpox, causes a pustular type of
like a
illness,
chickenpox,
skin-based illness,
yeah.
very little respiratory component, and is from animals to humans. There's been, over the last half century, several hundred cases. Listen to this, Alex, 700 cases. Since there's a case in the United States, the announcement was 13 million doses of a pre-manufactured live attenuated vaccine for monkeypox.
Boy, they sure guessed right on that.
Yeah,
That's a hyperbolic response. Can you imagine the company that hasn't had any sales on their monkeypox vaccine getting an infusion of millions of dollars of cash? And it's interesting, in a paper in New England Journal of Medicine by Grossenbeck and colleagues, when they studied an oral drug that we also have for monkeypox called Viramak, or also known as TPOXX, when TPOXX was studied, in the introduction to that paper, it was stated a single case of smallpox would be a worldwide crisis because of this charged fear that the pox viruses were going to be specifically used for bioterrorism.
Put your motherfucking lighters up.
Hyping. In fact, let's play the clip of Bill Gates last year saying this is coming, there's going to be a bigger attack, something like the pox virus, and now it's happened.
And so I'm hoping in 5 years I can write a book called, We Are Ready for the Next Pandemic. But it'll take tens of billions in R&D that the US and the UK will be part of that. It'll take probably about $1 billion a year for a pandemic task force at the WHO level, which is doing the surveillance and actually doing what I call germ games, where you practice. You say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports?
Smallpox.
How would the world respond to that? That there's naturally caused epidemics, and bioterrorism caused epidemics that could even be way worse than
bioterrorism
today. And yet, the advances in medical science should give us tools that we could do dramatically better. So you'd think this would be a priority. The next year will be where those allocations have to get made, including this global pandemic task force.
So he tells us the next big thing in November of last year, and now, like clockwork, it's here.
The next big thing is here.
Wow, that doesn't look suspicious.
It don't.
Fortunately, there's an oral medication. We have a stockpile of 2 million doses. Almost all these cases come out of the Congo Basin. There was an outbreak in 2003 in the United States, 70 cases where there was some mixing of some different animals in pet stores actually from that part of Africa, and did spread to humans. But it's self-limited, Alex. It's easily treated with these drugs. It's mainly a cutaneous skin lesion. The only mortality that occurs is in regions where there is no general medical care support when patients do get more ill, get dehydrated, etc.
But, people should really examine this very closely, though. I mean, suddenly he's talking about this monkeypox. I mean, I remember looking in a tropical disease book years ago. I used to hang out in Africa, and those same pictures of those children that were infected with it, those are 30 years old. And then, suddenly he's talking about the next bonanza that's headed our way, and then just what prescience, and then so I don't know if you guys remember, it was 2003. There were guinea pigs that were housed with Ghana pouch rats. I mean, what kind of bizarre pets that people have? The guinea pigs got it from the Ghana pouch rats that were brought in from Africa, and then it spread to about 70 people in the United States. There was no hysteria and talk of we need to buy 32 million doses of vaccines. We have now been conditioned to be hyper vigilant and hyper alert to this kind of thing.
We're being turned into hysterical
ninnies.
Exactly. What's the word? Hypochondriacs.
It's true. I have to tell you, you have such a lead time on this illness. There should be absolutely no panic. It's almost analogous to chickenpox and someone having lots of pustular vesicular lesions. It's readily identified. We can manage this. The treatment is actually very well tolerated. TPOXX drug taken twice a day is perfectly fine. We don't need 13 million doses of a vaccine and have people start.
Clearly, it's more hysteria. What about, Doctor, the studies and links that we've seen? And I was talking to Dr. Fleming last week, and he was saying that the type of virus that they use in the virus vector J&J and others is linked to, and I've got some of the studies, but I'm not a scientist like you, doctor, that's causing these weird acute types of hepatitis in children's livers.
It's related but not causative. And I look at it this way. In a recent paper in Lancet Hepatology from the UK and actually from Cedars-Sinai in LA, the authors describe that virtually all of these cases of hepatitis, the children are exposed in some way to SARS-CoV-2. Either they've had the infection, people in their family have had the infection, or have taken a vaccine, or the children have taken the vaccine. That's actually setting up the childhood liver with Wuhan spike protein, and then there's a superimposed exposure from adenovirus 41, which is typically very mild. Now, adenoviral vectors are used in Johnson & Johnson and J&J, but it's probably not related to these cases. What we need to do in each and every case is we need to understand what is the SARS-CoV-2 exposure to the children in order to find a path forward. Some of these cases have resulted in transplants, some have been fatal.
The other thing that, before we get too far away from it, that I wanted to talk about was there are clear precedents for what we're seeing. In 2001, about 3 weeks before Dr. McCullough was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, there was a huge book that was published here in the United States called Empire of Pain. It was a publishing sensation. It's about the Sackler family of New York that started Purdue Pharma. And Oxycontin. And it's a marvelous book. I mean, hats off to the writer. He describes how this very clever family...
Hold on, John Leake. Let's talk about the parallels with this when we come back. We got 2 more segments with our amazing guests.
And you already know, if you want to watch that whole joint, you can slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com and check it out for your goddamn self. But let's not forget that I know we just heard some quasi, Alex Jones saying it, but let's just recap how Alex Jones called out the fucking globalist playbook long before the fucking globalists tried to motherfucking implement it and shit with the smallpox shit. Let's do it.
They plan to have smaller bioweapon releases that aren't as deadly to get the global control system in place, and then have bigger releases. They're going to have limited bioweapon releases at first that get us to then take vaccines that remove our immunity. They launch a simulant they own. They put vaccines in you that are binary weapons that lower your immunity. And then they start releasing the real stuff. And I believe they're going to launch a new bio attack, a whole separate virus other than COVID very soon. Saying, okay, this pandemic's ending, but a new one's coming
January
soon.
22nd, 2022.
But you'll be trained to lock down, and then the next
this
thing
is
comes
March
in a year
17th,
or two,
2020.
and then one hits that's billions, and you all sit in your houses and die.
Yeah, man. That's the whole fucking nature of this game, folks. They don't want you to live past this shit. They want you to fucking die past this shit. Everybody fucking know Bill Gates is behind this monkeypox outbreak shit, man. Come on, man. I mean, you have to be a fucking complete idiot to not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not calling you a complete idiot if you're outside of the information loop. What I'm saying is if you know these portals of information and you don't fucking think that Bill Gates is behind this shit, you are a fucking idiot and shit. Now, again, that doesn't go for the people that don't know shit about this. You know, some of y'all is just blind to what the fuck is going on, and that's understandable and shit because a lot of people don't like watching the news. A lot of people don't like engaging in the news. You know what I'm saying? Some people think it's scary. You know what I'm saying? But only by, confronting it will we get past this shit. So my man Salty Cracker, everybody knows Bill Gates is behind this shit. I just heard Alex say it.
Probably about $1 billion a year for a pandemic task force at the WHO level.
Now you're about to hear Salty
say it. And actually doing what I call germ games, where you practice. You say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports? How would the world respond to that?
Earlier, as you received notice from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, there's a patient in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts who has been confirmed to have infection with monkeypox.
Get Bill Gates in here!
Did somebody say monkeypox? That's right. Welcome to the newest unfolding pandemic that is surely not brought to you by Bill Gates. And Fauci and the rest of the scumbag lizard people. It's a coincidence if you're noticing that this totally legitimate regime wants to cede all of our sovereignty over to the WHO because they handled COVID so well, and as they're doing this, miraculously,
they are fucking signing away our rights and fucking with the Davos group in the World Economic Forum right now and shit. So when the next pandemic arrives, the WHO, and I explained this over the last, I think, 2-3 episodes. You know what I'm saying? When the WHO say, oh, it's a new pandemic, a monkeypox, we all got to do X until nobody gets monkeypox. See, this idea of until nobody dies from it is just complete. It's a reach around. It's a blank check. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers said when COVID first started, oh, we got to lock down till nobody dies from COVID. Nigga, all you gonna do is say people dying from COVID forever. And then we stay locked down forever. Y'all niggas gonna die in the house just from, you know what I'm saying? And it's really bugged the fuck out. And, you know, truthfully and shit, this shit kind of make your head hurt a little bit because you like, well, what the fuck is supposed to be going on? And the whole time, these people was fucking literally out to get us and shit. So, I mean, it's just bugged out, man. When you know a motherfucker is attacking you and shit, and, you know, nobody want to believe this motherfucker is attacking you. But the crazy part is the memes are fucking crazy. Meeting to sign the WHO's pandemic treaty. Release the monkeypox. You hear the bitch. It's from Austin Powers and shit. Release the monkeypox. Shit
all
crazy.
of a sudden, monkeypox, everybody. Oh yeah, no, let's not arrest the dude who keeps talking about arson and then arson pops off. That wouldn't make any sense.
Nah.
We shouldn't even look into it. Holy shit, Bill Gates, you're a monster. If you want to save Western civilization, the best way to do it is with this right here. You better start attaching these people's names to what's about to unfold to get them to stop it. This is a video, maybe not this video, but this meme for sure. You better start blasting it out there. If you're questioning the efficiency, the effectiveness, and the what the fuck is wrong with my mouth? the efficacious nature of memes.
Efficacy.
Take a look at, we just destroyed the Ministry of Truth in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks of memes to flatten that cunt. Well,
She
you
not
better do it
flattened
again
yet.
with this one because this is even crazier. They want to unleash
There, he talking about the Ministry of Truth right there. They paused the Ministry of Truth, but they didn't stop the Ministry of Truth.
monkeypox on us. This is, grand old memes, of course. Meeting to sign the WHO pandemic treaty. Release the monkeypox! Release the monkeypox! It's totally not Bill Gates. By the way, how do I know it's Bill Gates? Because there's already a shit ton of mainstream media articles. It's not Bill Gates.
Fact check
It's
it.
definitely not Bill Gates. It's not that son of a bitch who's
It's you.
pregnant with lizard people with his filthy moobs protruding beneath that blue shirt. Shit, yeah, it's him. Crazy conspiracy theory claims Bill Gates behind monkeypox. Well, we'll just go to
He is.
actually over here.
I mean, you're the one that said it.
We're going to debunk it right now.
Newsweek fact
Did Bill
check.
Gates predict the monkeypox outbreak? He's the one threatening us. He's the one telling everybody. Okay, so I've defeated my COVID-19.
Well, try this one.
It's not the worst one to come yet. Maybe something like smallpox. A smallpox-like virus might hit you next. Holy shit! He fucking said that. He said that. And this week, he didn't say that. Okay, well, he kind of said it, but, it was out of context. Out of context, everything he does is a fucking threat.
Facts.
Everything Bill Gates is saying is a threat to us.
Facts.
Multiple Twitter posts have suggested that Microsoft founder Bill Gates has predicted the likelihood of a smallpox outbreak ahead of the recently recorded cases of smallpox in the US, in Europe, in Latin America. It's spreading all over the place. Oh yeah, but you're not supposed to notice that. It's a whole bunch of things you're not supposed to notice. Don't notice replacement theory. Don't notice this. Don't notice Bill Gates in the background. Don't notice the dude who wife just openly left him because he was hanging out with a convicted kid fucker after he was convicted of kid fucking. Don't look into his IT personnel being arrested at his mansion with kid porn on his computer. Don't worry about it. Get your medical advice from him. Get your medical advice from him. Makes total sense.
It doesn't, though.
So, you're like,
this shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Saudi. We appreciate your time and effort and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's mind-blowing and shit because already there's doctors coming out and shit, you know what I'm saying, and talking about how this pox virus is gain of function, and it's confirmed. Let's do it.
Okay, yes, this is another public health mafia video. It's about viruses, and I know that everybody, including me, is totally sick of this topic. But aren't we sick of living in the world that these people have created? I'm done, but my job is to bring you the facts, and it's worth watching this video, so don't click away. Please bear with me. I've got some booms for you. All right, I'm going to start by looking at a doctor called Dr. Mark Buller, and I'm going to show you the tentacles and connections that come off of this guy. Gain of function on pox viruses. So your minds are going to be blown. Stick with me. Here is a little sneak peek at the graphic that I'm going to use for my wrap up. Okay, that's enough. So let's get started. So how it all began was when the monkeypox thing first came on the scene. I looked up what monkeypox was and found out that it's a member of the orthopox virus family. And in that family is also smallpox and cowpox, horsepox,
chickenpox.
Mousepox, did I already say that? And I thought, okay, so who is the leading expert on this and what's he saying, right, or she saying right now? It's this guy, Robert Mark Buller, working out of the University of St. Louis.
Orthopox
and I thought to myself,
virus.
let's find out about him. Like, is he on any committees right now? Does he own a biotech company like a lot of these guys do?
Is he the head of a biotech company?
And the first thing that came up was this. In February 2017,
a bicyclist killed in Riverview Drive was SLP professor, expert on bioterrorism.
Killed on Riverview Drive was SLU professor, expert on bioterrorism. He was riding his bike on Friday, and he was hit by a car. He is one of the foremost pox virus researchers. He's a member of multiple national committees and governmental advisory groups.
Boards.
And his lab at SLU researched gene therapy, vaccines, and antiviral drugs as treatment for...
What is the COVID shot? It's a gene therapy. This nigga is number one.
Smallpox and a number of other lethal viruses.
And this is from February 28th, 2017 by Christina Bryars and shit. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
So, Dr. Buller got killed in a car accident while riding his bike,
And that's the same year Trump was fucking inaugurated. Nigga, 2 weeks after Trump was inaugurated and shit, this nigga got murked. And they were saying that it was going to be a pandemic of epic proportions in fucking 2016 before Trump was fucking inaugurated.
He apparently did every day. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not sure if there's any foul play involved in this, but I need to know more about him. So I just started searching, as I always do. Here's something that came up. New monkeypox strain linked to 2003 outbreak. This is that prairie dog incident that I talked about in my last video, where a handful of people in the United States suddenly came down with monkeypox out of nowhere from prairie dogs. And everybody said that's so weird. And Dr. Buller there was quoted in the paper as saying, well, the reason nobody died from this monkeypox virus is that there's two different strains. Okay? I covered that in the last video, so I won't go on about that. I will go on instead to the next thing. The next thing I wanted to know was whether or not his study here on monkeypox and why people didn't die from it when they get it in the States. I wanted to know whether it was funded by the NIH or by the military or what. So I went searching for grants, and guess what is going on right now at the NIH? This. National Institutes of Health. You can normally search the awarded grants and you click this link, but right now the service is unavailable. Oh goodness. Just when there's a pandemic outbreak and everybody wants to look into the backgrounds of the people involved to see if the NIH funded any gain of function studies on this stuff, the NIH search function doesn't work. See, they know
in the words of Dr. Fauci, wait a minute. Now, if you are saying that what we did was pox gain of function, then miss, you are a liar. You are a liar. See, only thing I hear right now is lies. You are a liar.
Oh, so they're going to be even more tricky now going forward, I'm sure. The next thing I found was Dr. Buller appears as part of this NIAID biodefense research agenda for Category A agents. And they talk about in here that there's new grants for non-human primate aerosol biology core. Now, what is that? The core is developing aerosol models for plague, tularemia, pox viruses, hantaviruses, and anthrax. Further in that document, we notice they are working on smallpox.
Anthrax, another fucking U.S. Lab created super strand and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, anthrax always existed, but as soon as the fucking government got their hands on that shit, I don't know if it was the American government or whatever. As soon as the government got their hands on that shit, it was super. Remember when 9/11 happened? All these anthrax scares happened after that shit. Oh, anthrax and envelopes, anthrax, and niggas wasn't opening their mail, all types of shit. It was crazy.
I mean, wasn't smallpox eradicated? Don't they keep saying that? Yeah, well, it isn't really, because all of these poxes, most of them, are derivatives of smallpox, and they keep messing with them in the lab. Like here they say they're developing MVA animal models, MVA assays, and immunocompromised mouse models testing drug vaccine efficacy against monkeypox. Okay, so that's one thing he worked on.
But listen, you gotta understand, these people look for shit strategically. Whenever they come out and say, "Oh, we doing this for this," that's exactly what we're at risk of and shit, because they will fucking release it and shit. See, this shit is just mind blowing, bro. You know what I mean? Now look at you. Look at your face. Go in the bathroom right now and look at your face, because I know your fucking eyeballs is popping out your fucking head and shit. We only 40 minutes into the first segment and shit, and you already found out that the Johnson & Johnson and the AstraZeneca attenuated viruses could be carrying this shit. You done found out that they created this shit in the lab and purposely gave y'all this shit, and now they pre-ordered. You found out that they fucking pre-ordered fucking millions of fucking vaccine doses for something that's supposedly eradicated. So if something is eradicated, that means it's basically gone. You know what I'm saying? Basically gone. You feel me? Basically gone. You feel me? So if it's eradicated, how the fuck did it come back? Oh, they had a sample in the laboratory, gave it to a motherfucking blah, 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 and that shit, you know, Wuhan fucking wet market and shit. You know, they always got some bullshit as excuse. It's crazy.
Yeah, paper from this doctor, Human Monkeypox, an Emerging Zoonotic Disease. This is from 2007.
Oh my God. This should say, moreover, human vaccinations is becoming less viable option to control pox virus infections in the body today. Increasingly immunocompromised population. What did the COVID shot do to you? It made you immunocompromised. How? Because it gave you vaccine-induced AIDS. VAIDS. V-A-I-D-S. VAIDS, nigga. The shit gave you VAIDS, which is destroying the equivalent of AIDS, which does the same thing VAIDS does and shit, which is destroy your fucking immune system and shit. Y'all heard the doctor on Good Morning America last episode and shit tell y'all, if y'all just keep taking this shit and there's nothing to fucking hide from, then it will just shut your immune system off. They told y'all niggas that shit on national TV, bro. You think she would have been allowed to come on Good Morning America and say that shit if she wasn't saying the right shit? She was clearly reading from a fucking teleprompter. You see the bitch eyes if you watch the video and shit. You see the bitch eyes shift back to the teleprompter, shift back to the teleprompter, shift back to the so, and that's the thing, man. These niggas, if you paying attention, then you know they fuck niggas up front. Fuck niggas, you could be white, Spanish, Chinese. It don't matter your ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? You could be a fuck nigga. It's just a phrase for a fucked up individual that's always doing fucked up ass shit and expect motherfuckers to accept that shit. You feel me? There you go. Looking pitiful. Just because I let you go. Damn, Pink, that shit fire. But listen, man. Now look at you. Look at your face right now. Look at you. Look at you. Especially if you took this motherfucking shot. And that's the thing, man. When I be talking about this shit, man, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself. And you know what I'm saying? If you took the shit, I'm not trying to make you feel no type of way if you took the shit. You know what I'm saying? If you fucked up and made the decision to not do the smart thing and stay away from this shit, then I'm trying to offer you solutions. The solutions that they not offering you and shit. The shit that they don't want you to fucking know. The shit that they keeping you away from. You know what I'm saying? Like, your doctor ain't tell you about ivermectin, Stromacol. You know what I'm saying? Now all y'all motherfucking, the CDC came out, what, 2 weeks ago now? You know what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, well, you know, unfortunately, you know, we done fucked up. And, you know, the next 4 weeks is going to be terrible for the vaccinated, in a nutshell. And then what? The next 4 weeks was terrible. I got a homie going through, he said he got arthritis in the base of his skull and in his spine. I got some other folks, they got fucking carpal tunnel in the joints in their shoulders, neck, and motherfucking arms and shit. What's another word for carpal tunnel? Arthritis and shit. See, this is the shit I'm talking about. If we pay attention and we take this shit seriously, then we can easily get past this shit. But if we on some shit like, oh, well, I don't, you know, I just want to just let my life be regular, your life will never fucking be regular. Especially if you're listening to these fucking crackhead whack job quacks. You understand what I'm saying? They get paid to administer that shot to y'all. They get paid to administer the calendar of shots to y'all. They get paid. Did you know that? Did you know that your doctor get paid for every motherfucking cool Viggity shot you take? I think it's like up to $1,000. You know how many fucking house payments you done made for these people? Shit, just one of you motherfuckers done paid for at least 2 months of a doctor's fucking mortgage already. 4 shots? And y'all supposed to be getting 5 before Christmas? But don't nobody want to fucking have these conversations. That's the problem, man.
And basically he says vaccination is a less viable option to control monkeypox due to the rise in immunocompromised people,
this
particularly
2007.
due to HIV.
HIV. What's another motherfucking virus similar to HIV? AIDS. What did the COVID shot do to you? Gave you VAIDS, vaccine-induced AIDS and shit. Y'all niggas, man. And I'm talking to you, any ethnicity. When I say y'all niggas, any ethnicity, dog. Y'all, we all ignorant people and shit. Let's go by the Webster's Dictionary version of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas, man, it's like, I mean, it's my birthday, too. I'm feeling myself and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here drinking a little Long Island iced tea and brisk iced tea. And I'm smoking me some super fire that I grew myself. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys about not making bad choices and shit. And it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? The how much I care about. It's my birthday. I should be taking off tonight. But the information is so fucking crazy. It's like, why would I do that to my people? Why would I do that to my fellow civilians and shit? Why would I do that to the people that support the show? And you gotta think, if you come in contact, monkeypox is spread from skin to skin. So if you in the house with one of these vaccinated motherfuckers and they took the Johnson & Johnson or AstraZeneca and shit, who's more likely to have motherfucking smallpox, you know what I'm saying, then you at risk. You sharing a toilet with this person, a shower with this person, soap with this person, food, cups, all types of shit with these people. And I ain't telling y'all to separate yourself, but I mean, you know, the science is telling y'all to separate yourself.
So, keep this in mind when we look at the current monkeypox thing that's going on, and they are saying that it is most prevalent in gay and bisexual men. And they are recommending and even giving out the smallpox vaccine in England right now. And I think that that's what the different countries are buying off of the vaccine companies, is smallpox vaccine, not monkeypox vaccine. And I have a lot more to say about that, but that'll wait for another video. So we see here Dr. Buller agrees or says that vaccines are not recommended in response to monkeypox.
Killed his ass.
An increased frequency of human monkeypox virus infections, especially in immunocompromised individuals, may permit the monkeypox virus to evolve and maintain itself independently in human populations.
My nigga, the vaccine is going to cause the shit to be more fucking prevalent. Let's look at the date. February 2nd, 2007. At motherfucking, it don't got the time. And then this is a redoc on 10/22/2017.
Vaccines not recommended? Oh, Dr. Buller, I think you may have committed the cardinal sin in science.
And they ran his ass over.
Would that maybe be a reason that a guy gets hit by a car while riding his bike?
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that may be the reason.
Just before he retires? It could be. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it
not only hit by a car, but murdered. Hit so hard that he died and shit.
Could be. Interesting. Next paper from...
You know what? If you want to watch this full video and shit, y'all know where to go, man. CivilianTalkPodcast.com. CivilianTalkPodcast.com. Take your ass over to CivilianTalkPodcast.com, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what the fuck it is, man. Y'all not stupid, man. That's why I love y'all. Y'all my fucking audience, man. And I fucks with y'all because y'all smart, you know what I'm saying? I can't fuck with that weird old crackhead shit, though, man, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, you know, talking about till they pastor tell them and all this shit, man, that shit, man, y'all got that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all fucking got that, you know what I mean? Now, look, y'all remember this? I had this story up, you know what I mean, back when it first came out. I gotta look through the book to remember the date and shit. But flashback, woman sick after coming in contact with CDC lab monkeys. Y'all remember that shit? During the pandemic, during the COVIDity? You know what I'm saying? When she, you know, a truck flipped over and shit, and the motherfucker literally fucking had lab monkeys on it and shit, and she went to go help thinking it was cats and shit, stuck her hand in the fucking cage like a dummy. Shit crazy, bro.
On January 21st, a truck and trailer carrying about 100 lab monkeys collided with a dump truck along Route 54, just off Interstate 80, near Danville, Pennsylvania, which tore the trailer wide open and sent animal crates flying all over the highway. 3 of the monkeys, macaques, escaped and went on the run, but since the 22nd, they have all been captured and killed. According to the CDC, the macaques arrived in New York from Mauritius, an East African country, and were en route to a CDC quarantine facility, either in Florida or the Midwest, according to conflicting reports. The CDC is now monitoring local residents for cold-like symptoms. Is this a wannabe Wuhan lab leak repeat?
Yep.
Michelle Fallon, a woman who came in contact with the monkeys after the crash, on the 22nd reported that she is experiencing symptoms, pink eye, and a cough. After visiting the emergency room, she was given a rabies shot and antiviral drugs. On the 21st, Michelle was driving directly behind the trailer of monkeys when it crashed, and thinking the animals were cats, she got out of her car and tried to help clean up the mess of animal crates on the highway.
I walk up back on the hill, and this guy tells me, He goes, oh, he's hauling cats. I'm like, oh. So I go over to look in the crate, and there's this green cloth over it, so I peel it back, I stick my finger in there, and go, kitty, kitty, and it pops it up, and it's a monkey.
Because their DNA is similar to that of humans, the macaques are often used in medical studies, and they have been in high demand during the COVID pandemic, each costing up to $10,000. Starting in 2020, there has been a shortage of these monkeys, which researchers want for COVID vaccine experiments to test the effectiveness of various shots. This wouldn't be the first time that lab test monkeys have led to an outbreak of a cross-species disease. In the United States Navy Medical Newsletter from July 5th, 1968, in the preventive medicine section, there's a warning about green monkey disease. The African green monkey is in the same animal order, suborder, and family as the macaque. The article describes a shipment of green monkeys being brought from Uganda to West Germany to harvest their kidneys for vaccine manufacturing. More than 20 employees who took part in removing the kidneys became ill with green monkey disease, and 7 of them died. Symptoms included weakness, nausea, vomiting,
kill rate of
diarrhea,
25%,
rash, and conjunctivitis, also known as pink eye, just like Michelle Fallon has experienced in Pennsylvania. In addition to green monkey disease, in 1958, monkeypox was first discovered by Danish virologist Preben von Magnus, originating in macaques from Singapore. This disease has habitually appeared and reappeared, jumping from monkeys to humans ever since. 11 African countries have reported monkeypox since 1970. The United Kingdom reported cases in 2018, 19, and 2021. Israel had cases in 2018. Singapore in 2019, and in 2003 and 2021, the United States reported monkeypox cases. In 2021, the Washington Post reported that a veterinarian in Beijing, China, contracted a herpes virus from macaque monkeys while working for a research institute where he dissected their bodies. A month later, he experienced nausea, vomiting, and fever before he died. So if diseases from monkeys are transmissible to humans and are known to have serious side effects, like death, then why are these types of animals being used for scientific experiments? Does their usefulness as test subjects outweigh the risks of contracting a disease from close proximity? Are researchers trying to engineer a deadly monkey virus as part of a gain-of-function research project? If so, how much more deadly would it be than a bat virus, like COVID, considering the similarity of our DNA? Hopefully, this is the last you'll hear of the mysterious Pennsylvania monkey virus.
It's not.
This is Brian Wilson with InfoWars.
And for all y'all traveling and shit, man, safe travels and shit, because y'all heard Bill Gates. He said, what if a bioterrorist did it at 10 airports? So I'm assuming the 10 biggest airports in the world. Horror, undefeated boxer, 38, dies in the ring after suffering a heart attack. Many believe the boxer's death is caused by the COVID vaccine, as jab linked to numerous documented instances of athletes suffering heart issues. A boxer at the top of his game suddenly died during a boxing match in Munich, Germany last week, with the horrifying footage showing him collapsing on the mat in between rounds. World Boxing Federation, WBF, International Lightweight Heavyweight Championship, Musa Yamik, 38, was 8-0 before suffering his first loss ever Saturday when he kneeled over inside the ring as he prepared to enter the third round against Ugandan fighter Hamza Wandera. Footage shows the Turkish-born boxer appeared woozy before he falls to his knees and finally lays down on the mat. Let's check it out. Okay. Okay, bending over. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Nigga had a heart attack on the mat. He's shaking. He convulsing. Wow. You know what I'm saying? You slide over to civiliantalkpodcast.com. You'll be able to check it out for yourself and shit. You know what I mean? But here goes some of the tweets and shit. Real niggas see what's going on. Clown world philosopher. Real niggas see what's going on. Real niggas know the media can't be trusted. Real niggas remember seeing the 3-minute clip of all the news channels saying brought to you by Pfizer and shit. Vax on, vax on, vax off. Vaccines work overtime. Wow. Sandwich spreads, not mayo. That COVID vax ain't no joke. Gallo, brought to you by Pfizer. Tau Sant, the Pfizer vax activated time release. Now, that's the first time I heard that one. He died from the vax. We're not stupid. He's not the first athlete either. David, yep. All of the soccer players that were vax collapsed as well. I've seen the report, shaking my head. Here go Dr. Steve. The vax did it. Benny Profane 8-1, and his only loss is to Pfizer. Wow. Cameron Bass. The vaccines are killing a lot of people this way. Another vax victim. They're not just able to hide this. The athletes exert themselves, and then the vax goes to work in their circulatory system, happening fast for athletes when the putting pressure on their hearts. I read several articles. It's been leaked, several sources. Here go another dude and shit. Scott Bruns. At least he didn't die from the COVID. Unfortunately, we're seeing and hearing about more of these stories about vaccinated athletes. Deplorable. These are now known as vax attacks. Vaxxed and double boosted. You already know. Be back on the other side with more of this shit. Don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. Hey, Joe. Snopes fact checked me and said, you didn't say you got your ass wiped. Did you say that?
Mr. President, you've been the big guy for 6 months now in the White House. Can you take us behind the scenes, something that was extraordinary or unusual that happened that stands out to you?
Here's the deal. I want to say, I like to walk out on my road to go in. Come on. I like to walk out on my road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on my road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on my road to go in. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens are here or not, and you can walk out and say, I just don't like the way that guy wears his tie. It's like telling your kid, I tell you what, you're 4 years old when you see a red light cross the street. I grew up in a neighborhood where you became a cop, a firefighter, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any one of them, so here I am. And by the way, one of the things I've gotten able to get done, let me finish the question. The answer. I want to say, I like to walk out on my road to go in. Come on. I like to walk out on my road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on my road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on my road to go in. I mean, QAnon. The idea that the Democrats or the Biden is hiding people and sucking the blood of children, and I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. The fact is, you may not like me, and that's your right. I'm sitting across from Putin. He knows who I am. Joe Biden.
What's that all about? You're the big man, I think.
Whoa! I know who he is.
Love Putin.
But again, one last thing. We don't talk enough to you about this, I don't think. Here's the deal. I want to say, I like to walk out on my road to go in. Come on. I like to walk out on my road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean? I like to walk out on my road to go in. What do you think, huh? I like to walk out on my road to go in.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button on the YouTube channel.
So we back. You already know. I'm gonna read a couple more of these comments because they fucking hilarious and shit. Right before we go to a huge study finding that the vax is fucked up. Josephine Short. I'd like to know how many vaccine kill shots he received prior to this. Let's go, Daily News. It's an avenue worth investigating, so investigate. So old. Was he vaxxed? James Stirrup. Clot shot victim. Wow. Scott J. Yeah, but imagine if he hadn't been vaccinated. God bless vaccines. Captain Tim. Very strange. Another happy COVID vax customer. You mean? It's not that people fucking trying to make light of this shit or make fun of this shit. It's just clearly the situation. You feel me? I mean, it's clearly the situation. Trustworthy Fly. Always like this. If he only taken the 30-second booster shot. Oh my God, man. It's not that they insensitive, folks. It's that they had enough of the shit, man. They sick of the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that motherfuckers is trying to be insensitive and make people feel bad about what's going on and shit. It's like all this shit going on. Y'all don't see it. Somebody tell you what's going on. Y'all don't believe it. And then when it happened to you, y'all expect us to feel bad. It's like it's a oxymoron and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, man, I'm just somebody just trying to point some shit out. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all so much, man. Y'all don't understand how much this show mean to me, how much, like, I feel like I'm helping humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all my folks. I don't want to never see nothing bad happen to y'all and shit, you feel me? So when shit start happening that's bad, you know, it's like, you know, it's just, I don't like it, man. Like, I fucking love y'all, and I don't think y'all deserve, you know what I'm saying, having to go through this, and this is why we tell you what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But huge study shows vaccine increase heart inflammation up to 120 times.
COVID vaccines increase risk of severe heart inflammation up to 120-fold. Major study finds. The study looked at over 23 million patient records covering the over 12s population of Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden from the start of the vaccine rollout in December 2020 to October 5th, 2021. The story can be found at Daily Skeptic. For young males aged 16 to 24 years within 28 days of a second dose, the study found severe myocarditis requiring inpatient hospital admission around 5 times more common after Pfizer and 14 more times more common after Moderna. This corresponded to 6 events per 100,000 people after Pfizer and 18 events per 100,000 after Moderna. A second dose of Moderna, given after the first dose of Pfizer, came with even higher risk, a 36-fold increase corresponding to 27 events per 100,000 people. The Moderna vaccine has 3 times the dose of mRNA of the Pfizer vaccine, which the authors suggest lies behind the increased risk. One oddity is that the study can't seem to decide how many severe myocarditis events there actually were in total. In table 2 below in the left-hand column, it indicates there were 85 plus 35 plus 53 equals 172 events following the second dose. In the text, however, it says that during the 28 risk day period, we observed 105 myocarditis cases. With 60 myocarditis cases following the second dose. So that gives 115 plus 60 equals 175 events following the second dose. Yet lower down, we get a third figure. So again, just a complete lack of legitimate or cohesive or coherent information when it comes to the risk of myocarditis following the COVID vaccine.
It's crazy, bro.
Worth noting that the bar for myocarditis here is very high, excluding those who receive medical attention as a hospital outpatient, let alone anything milder. Even milder cases, however, may cause long-term damage. So it's pointing to only the most extreme examples of myocarditis, which this major study published in the Journal of American Medical Association of the Medical Association, increase that risk of severe heart inflammation up to 120-fold. And again, this is a study that's published in the Journal of American Medical Association and looked at 23 million patient records. Not a small sample, but rather an absolutely massive one covering multiple countries in the north of Europe.
Crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is running around talking about what? What again? You know what I mean? Dog, there's people out here trying to tell you what the fuck is happening and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers trying, to get you off of this train that's headed nowhere fast. You feel me? Like, it's about all of us. You know what I'm saying? And the motherfuckers that care know it's about all of us. The motherfuckers that don't care is just telling you it's safe and effective, trying to get you to take the shit. So, another prime example of how motherfuckers just don't give a fuck about you and shit. Pfizer CEO pitches Davos elites on Wi-Fi microchip pills. $5G is not about making your phone go faster. It's not about boosting your speed to watch videos and all that shit. It's a weapon, bro. It's a weapon. And the weapon is microwave. Y'all niggas running around with portable microwaves in your pocket. Now, I ain't judging you, you know what I'm saying? I got a portable microwave and shit. 2 of them, actually. 3 of them, actually, because I got a tablet, too. But it's for work, so, you know what I'm saying? Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla may have forgotten he was on camera this week as he dazzled the audience in front of the World Economic Forum in Davos with fantasies of ingesting computer chips that signal authorities when the drug was digested. It is basically a biological chip that is in a tablet, and once we take the tablet, it dissolves in our stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that compliance. The insurance companies know the medicines the patients should have took. They take them. Wow. Fuck it, don't hear it from me.
It is basically a biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
One more time.
It is basically a biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
Do y'all niggas, y'all starting to get it? We're going to do 5-10 minutes of Alex Jones and Robert Barnes real fast. And they're talking about the corporate power grab of control over our bodies. And most likely they're discussing this Davos group meeting and shit, you know what I'm saying, where the 195 countries are coming together to sign on for the WHO, the World Health Organization, to give them the power to shut us down because of anything they see as a pandemic. The World Health Organization is ran by China and the globalists. So, you see what I'm getting at?
Isn't that what this is all about? I remember that clip from 4 years ago on C-SPAN with all the big bureaucrats and Fauci, and they said, we're going to have a new virus come out of China, a new bird flu. We'll use that to blow up the old FDA system and other systems worldwide where we can just directly do whatever we want. That's what this whole thing is, a corporate power grab over our bodies.
Absolutely. What they're doing with the FDA is what they want the WHO to have power to do for everybody, ultimately, which is unchecked, unelected, clerical bureaucrats dictating and controlling our entire medical care.
This is
and if they
so
own
important.
our body, they own our soul.
If they own our body, they own our souls. Man, do I agree.
Barnes, you've really been on this. You've been involved filing the big cases for Pfizer whistleblowers in Texas that helped expose all this. So you've really got an inside track on this. We've got about 7 minutes to break. What is your view on what's currently happening? And for me, it's pretty obvious the next big lockdown, the next big rollout, and the way to get this power-grabbing, sovereignty-destroying UN biomedical tyranny in is currently with the smallpox hysteria that I'm predicting is going to go ahead and escalate out of control, just like COVID. What do you think?
Well, I mean, no doubt. I mean, I was in court on Tuesday in front of a federal judge in Waco with Bobby Kennedy on children's health defense, trying to stop the booster authorization and the vaccine authorization for kindergartners and elementary school-age children. And the federal judge, to his credit, listened to our argument and said that he would give us permission to amend, to detail and provide more evidence about how this vaccine is harming kindergartners and elementary school children. So if anybody's out in the Waco area, the Waco region, and they've seen schools be issuing these vaccines or making them freely available without full parental involvement, if they're seeing advertising in the local area, we've seen it from Big Bird, Elmo, everybody else, but if they've seen local advertising that's promoting this vaccine, as we detailed in court, this vaccine is not safe. This vaccine is not effective. This vaccine is not a vaccine, not legally, not medically, not historically, not in the definition of the ordinary public. And the key question is, can the FDA be held liable and held responsible? Because if we could stop this at the source, which is the FDA, then it stops it everywhere else. And so the court laid out that additional facts need to be alleged to satisfy his willingness to let the case go forward, but he was willing to entertain what those facts might be. So if there's anybody in the Waco area that has facts that may be relevant, reach out, let us know. But you're right. I mean, this is what we talked about 2 years ago. We said what this is going to do. You look at Bill Gates' agenda. What they're going to do is they're going to try to require us to take drugs for the rest of our lives for a disease that is not an imminent risk to most human beings, most Americans, and for a drug that is not a vaccine and that instead is conditioning us like we walk through the airport and we've grown conditioned to have our body inspected as a condition of traveling within the United States domestically. We got to show our papers. We got to let them spy on our stuff. We got to let them look at an effective X-ray of our body just to get on a plane. They're conditioning us in the same way to accept all kinds of drugs right in the arm. And these are drugs we know are dangerous. We know are not effective. I mean, listen to that White House guy for the just lie repeatedly. Oh, well, now the vaccine, what does he praise about the vaccine? He says, well, maybe your symptoms might be worse. That's not a vaccine. That's a bad drug. That's a weak drug. That's an ineffective drug. And this is a gene editing drug, as they've admitted and conceded in other places, but failed to do the proper legal requirements to meet it. So now they're going to give it to us at least once a year. At least once a year. I don't know if you're going to be getting in line, Alex, but I think I'll skip that line. This is nothing more than a Bill Gates mandated process for us to be locked into taking whatever the government tells us to, whenever the white lab coats show up and say, stick this in your kid, stick this in your grandma, stick this in yourself for the rest of your natural born life. And we know from what happened in Kenya, we know from what happened in India, that what happens when you line up for a Bill Gates shot. Suddenly weird things start happening. All of a sudden women are sterilized. All of a sudden, people are experiencing diseases they hadn't experienced before. Often they experience diseases that they didn't previously think they could get. And so we're seeing the same thing already with this so-called drug, with this so-called vaccine, with this fake vaccine. And now they want to force us to take it for the rest of our lives.
And Robert,
it's a great image.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so transparent that Gates says monkeypox is coming. And then they roll out a vaccine that's delivered right as it pops up around the world, right as they're trying to ram through this treaty that they admit
that you know is mRNA.
States, the UN,
that's an
mRNA
for days.
Military power for sanctions over nations that don't submit. This is world government based on a biomedical dictatorship.
Yeah, it's concentrating power. So right now what they're trying to do is pass internal rules that would only govern the World Health Organization internally. But there are parallel to it proposing a treaty that ultimately still has to come back to the United States Senate. The United States Senate, 2/3 of them have to pass it. And what they're doing is a bifurcated approach. The first approach isn't the treaty itself, but they're misleading some people into thinking it's the treaty so that people will voice concern now. And then when that treaty doesn't come into place because it's not actually legally a U.S. treaty, U.S. binding treaty, then when they pass it in law a year from now, people aren't paying attention.
Yep.
Because they got.
But let's expand on that. They're claiming, though, because Harry Truman in 1947 signed on to the WHO, that's a blanket treaty to follow that, and that Obama's executive order, right before he left office 5.5 years ago, basically put into place similar martial law provisions, and so the bureaucracies, even if they don't officially sign on, are still going to follow the directives.
Constitutionally, it's not, and that's an important point for everyone to know. There's major risk with them trying to do these internal rules, but some people are getting caught up in the idea that acts as a treaty, and you're seeing some misleading legal interpretations out there. No World Health Organization treaty has ever passed, and under the Constitution, nothing is binding law as a treaty unless 2/3 of the Senate approve.
And we've seen good things like federal and state judges saying they can't close churches during these lockdowns, that lockdowns are unconstitutional. So it's taken people a few years to wake up, but there does seem to be a major backlash.
Absolutely.
And people need to be alert. Be aware of what this is, but don't get too caught up such that you're not alert when they're actually they plan on proposing an actual binding constitutional treaty. They just plan on doing it about a year from now, where they're hoping people aren't paying it. That would be superior law of the land. That would be binding on the U.S. That's what we have to be the most alert for.
All right, Robert Barnes, stay there. Stay there. I want to get into all the other big issues, the Ministry of Truth. It hasn't been canceled, and so much more for 30 minutes with you, then Dr. McCullough and others.
And you already know, if you want to watch that full video, you know where to go find it and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why we love this show. Because we bring you the shit, and then we let you go look at the shit for yourself and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, man, our government is shit, bro. They shit, man. It's going down, and you're part of town. And what you going to do about it? You're just going to sit there and fucking let it happen? Or you going to tell people this shit is going on so we can raise public outrage and beat these motherfuckers politically? But I forgot, politics don't run your life, right? Such a pity. Such a shame. Politics don't run your life and shit. Yeah, man. Although politics run your life, politics don't run your life. I know. I get it. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. And it just dawned on me, I guess that's an insult. So politics run my life. I guess that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? But I'll take it. Now, let's check out some more political theater and shit. So, y'all know Plucky Duck done rolled out from the motherfucking White House press corps. You know, she's secretly still in that joint and shit. But she working for MSNBC right now and shit. You know what I mean? And Peter Doocy, we all know he's the sharpest motherfucking reporter in the fucking press corps and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga got out on her, bro. This bitch, like, they already called in help from John something. He part of the government somewhere else and shit. But they got this nigga doing press briefings and shit now, because this is how bad this bitch is. She is terrible. See, this is what I mean by, if you just hire people because, you know, they skin color and shit, you don't get a good product. You know what I'm saying? You don't get a fucking good product. They hired this bitch just because of her skin color, and they didn't get a good product. Now they gotta fucking, you know, go get somebody that's qualified for the job to go do the job, and he's still terrible and shit, but nobody is as bad as this bitch. Let's do it.
I don't have a timeline. A decision hasn't been made. Yeah.
Thank you, Corinne. A follow-up to the Disinformation Board. Last week, you guys said that you needed this Disinformation Governance Board at DHS to make sure that freedom of speech is protected across the country and that these platforms are not used for forms of disinformation. So what changed?
Look, the Department of Homeland Security, they began their statement repeating that the board had been intentionally mischaracterized, which is a little bit of what you were asking me, and they were explicit about what it does and does not do. It was never about censorship, policing speech, or removing content from anywhere. As Secretary Marcos said, he has asked former DHS Secretary Michael Chernoff and former DAG
this bitch
Jamie
reading the
to
book
lead a
like
thorough review.
she
This is
can't
the cause
even
that
look
I was
away
talking
from
about,
this joint.
An assessment as members of the Bipartisan Homeland Security Council Advisory Council. The board will not convene during that period, but the departments work across several administrations to address disinformation that threatens the security for our country is critical and will continue. So that work is going to continue.
So if it's pausing because you think the board was mischaracterized, then the Disinformation Board is being shut down because of disinformation?
Wow.
Is that what's happening here?
Look, I mean, the board was put forth for a purpose, right? To
The
make
board
sure that
being
we
shut
really
down
did
for disinformation.
really did address what was happening across the country when it came to disinformation.
And it's okay to wait now 75 days.
It's just going. It's going to pause. There's been a mischaracterizations from outside forces, and so now we're going to pause it and we're going to do an assessment. But the work doesn't stop. We're still going to continue the work. The DHS is still going to continue the work.
Okay. Americans are now spending $5,000 a year on gasoline. That's almost double what they did a year ago. Where are people supposed to go to get all that extra cash?
To get the extra cash to pay for gas?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Get
one
the
of the
extra
things
cash
that
to
we've
pay
been
for
very
gas?
clear about is to do everything in our power to make sure that we lower costs. It is important. We see it. The president understands what the American people is going through, and that's why we're doing everything that we can. We've made multiple announcements in the past several months of what we're doing, whether it's the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, whether it's the Ethanol 15, to make sure that the American people are not feeling Putin's price hike. This is where this is coming from. 60 to 70% of the current price hike that we have seen has come from Putin's aggression against Ukraine.
So the president announced on March 31st that he's got all these steps to lower gas prices, and it's still Putin's fault 7 weeks later.
Wow. Destroyed the cheese, straight nuked that bitch just now, bro. You still blaming Putin 7 weeks later. Destroyed. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm watching in the streets. I'm out here in these streets and I'm watching this shit and I'm like, yo, this shit can't be real. But it's absolutely the fuck real. They not playing, dog. This shit crazy, bro. Complete clown show. We gonna take it to my man Mark Dice. Let's do it.
Did you hear old Joe has a new spokesperson? Jen Psaki left the sinking ship of the Biden administration, which is a smart move, actually, to go work for MSNBC. And so the new woman who's going to be receiving softballs from everybody in the press, except for Peter Doocy, is Karine Jean-Pierre. And like most LGBT people, she feels she needs to tell everybody that she is one every single day. Here she is the first day on the job.
I am a black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position. I would not be here today if it were not for
you being a diversity hire. Yeah, we know. And like all black liberals, she's obsessed with making baseless accusations about white people.
Racism, sexism, misogyny, all of that, homophobia, xenophobia, we connect it to Donald Trump, but it existed before Donald Trump. Racism was here before Donald Trump, and sadly it will be here after Donald Trump. If it walks like a racist, talks like a racist, acts like a racist, it is a racist. And we have a racist president in the White House who really pushes his racism like a peacock. Donald Trump is the first president to have purposefully has made racism the center of his campaign, of his administration, clearly. I think Donald Trump wants to get rid of legal immigration.
This bitch.
And it's because of people who come from brown and black countries. They want to put up these awful voter suppression laws, which is racism, to make it difficult for people of color to vote. Voter suppression is racism. That's exactly what it is. Can we kind of dispel this whole idea that the Tea Party was about the deficit when clearly that is not true? What it was about was a reactionary to the racism in America that we were seeing at the time. And what are we going to do to actually start the process? Because it's going to take some time to uproot systemic racism. We have to continue to call out this racism.
Like all diversity hires, she's not qualified for the job, and I doubt that she's going to make it for the next 5.5 months until the midterm because she's actually a terrible liar. Peter Doocy stumped her on her first day.
Corinne, congratulations. Nice to see you up there.
Thank you.
The president's Twitter account posted the other day, you want to bring down inflation, let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share.
Mm-hmm.
How does raising taxes on corporations reduce inflation?
So, are you talking about a specific tweet?
He tweeted, you want to bring down inflation, let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share.
Look, we have talked about this past year about making sure that the wealthiest among us are paying their fair share. And that is important to do, and that is something that the
is
president
reading
has been
straight from the manual.
I forgot to highlight this in yesterday's video, but did you catch that when Peter Doocy was humiliating her about the Department of Disinformation being shut down, she said that there were outside forces who were spreading, quote, misinformation about it, insinuating that, of course, it was the Russians again?
There's been a mischaracterization from
the
outside,
other reporter
outside
smiling
forces.
hard
No,
as
it was
shit.
domestic forces. It was us mocking Nina Jankowicz and exposing her for being one of the biggest purveyors of disinformation, causing her to resign in disgrace. And speaking of spreading misinformation, old Joe Snoop, black lesbian immigrant spokeswoman, spread some dangerous misinformation that undermined our democracy by claiming that Donald Trump stole the 2016 election. Turns out she's quite the conspiracy theorist. What a surprise! And she thinks that the Republicans stole the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial race as well. Of course, Democrats have been crying for the last year and a half that anybody who talks about stealing elections is inciting an insurrection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
A hard penis.
Of course, you know that it's a violation of the terms of service on Facebook and YouTube to dare say that the Democrats would do such a thing. That would be ultra MAGA.
Incited the erection.
Behavior, ultra MAGA policies that are out of the mainstream of the country.
In case you haven't heard, old Joe just coined the term ultra MAGA. I guess to be clear, his research analysts did, and they put a lot of work into this, thinking that it would somehow be an insult to us. And I'm sure glad that they did, because it's 100 times better than Hillary calling us deplorable.
The Ultra MAGA plan, because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
So, of course, I put out a new shirt, which you should order from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below. And like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So,
and you already know, if you got it from Mark, man, send your boy 99 cents, man. Keep the show pumping and shit. But, yeah, man, this shit is just crazy, bro. I mean, like, y'all know what it is and shit. It's just a shit show. You know what I mean? And we were just talking about the disinformation board, and that shit is not done. These niggas is trying to Orwell 1984 us and shit, and niggas they lunching. So I think Tom Cotton and Tulsi Gabbard warned that the government Ministry of Truth is only on pause. Congress needs to act in the weeks ahead to ensure that it is nothing like it can ever be created in the future and shit. This is some basically y'all ever see the joint with Tom Cruise and shit, Minority Report? This is basically what this is going to turn into. Microchips plus this Minority Report. Following the news that the Department of Homeland Security Disinformation Governance Board has been sidelined because of the mischaracterization, the GOP Senator Tom Cotton and former Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard both warned that the scheme is only on hold because it was exposed, and it likely will return in stealth. Apparently, on Fox News, Cotton said, "I am glad to know that this Orwellian Ministry of Truth is at least on pause for the moment, but I think it's important to realize it's only on pause because the American people found out about it." Cotton continued, "The government has no business referring deputies engaging in political campaigns or public debates. If you don't like someone else's speech, the solution is more speech. It's not, if you can defeat me with your facts, then you win. Why I gotta shut up in order for you to win? Why are we having a debate and my debate better than yours, so you just want me to shut up so you can win?" So that's the upside down world of this whole shit. You know what I mean? Cotton continued. The Department of Homeland Security, for goodness sakes, to try to censor or label someone's argument in the public square. Now, I think the Democrats often believe that disinformation or misinformation are simply facts that reflect poorly on Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, which is true. Congress when it was all Trump, it was all over the place. Y'all ain't give a fuck. Now we talking about Joe. Don't nobody want to have that discussion and shit. See, that's the bullshit right there. See that bullshit? That's bullshit. Congress needs to act this week ahead of ensuring that and nothing like it can ever be created again in the future and shit. Let's we ain't even gonna watch the video, but y'all trust me on this one. I'm pretty sure that y'all get it and shit. But my man Paul Joseph Watson, Big Sis is Big Sad. Let's do it. Yeah.
Big Sis is Big Sad. The Department of Homeland Security has been forced to suspend its creepy disinformation board before it even got off the ground, and its would-be leader, Nina Jankowicz, isn't taking it too well.
So every characterization of the board that you've heard up until now has been incorrect, and frankly, it's kind of ironic that the board itself was taken over by disinformation when it was meant to fight it.
Yeah. You know what's also kind of ironic?
Wow.
The unit to fight
Bitch, all we did was put you out there, and that's disinformation.
The queen of disinformation,
exactly.
Claimed the deep state doesn't exist.
Talking about the deep state and things like that, which is a thread among conspiracy communities here in the United States, that there is this secret cabal here in Washington working to undermine the American people. It couldn't be farther from the truth.
That's disinformation.
Yeah, exactly.
You promoted the claim that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian propaganda. That's disinformation. You cited Christopher Steele as an expert on disinformation, the author of the infamous Trump P-Gate dossier, which was wholly a product of disinformation. He defended and excused the behavior of Ukrainian
shit in court right now. He's suing him.
The Azov battalion, while they were literally committing war crimes. That's disinformation. You falsely characterized parents' legitimate concerns about critical race theory being taught in schools as disinformation. That's disinformation. Disinformation. It's okay when we do it.
It's kind of ironic.
Then the disinformation board is being shut down because of disinformation?
Isn't it interesting how there's almost a total Venn diagram overlap between disinformation and information that embarrasses the regime?
Exactly.
Funny that, isn't it? Almost like the entire contrived moral panic over disinformation is just an excuse to shut down legitimate dissent.
It's kind of ironic.
As journalist Glenn Greenwald he complains about right-wing disinformation scuppering the DHS Disinfo board when the most devastating indictment of the whole operation and her was published by The Nation, a left-wing news outlet.
It's kind of ironic.
Newsflash. Large numbers of people being rightly concerned about the government literally launching a ministry of truth isn't a coordinated attack, isn't right-wing disinformation. It's speaking truth to power.
All these sensationalist narratives about what the board was, what people thought the board was going to do are completely wrong. It was a coordinating mechanism.
Oh, don't worry, everyone. It was just a coordinating
mechanism.
This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
That just happened to be led by someone who literally said free speech makes her shudder. By someone who said free speech was like, quote, fairy dust, suggesting it doesn't even exist. By somebody who demanded the power for trustworthy regime propagandists like her to edit your tweets.
And I am eligible for it because I'm verified. But there are a lot of people who shouldn't be verified who aren't, legit, in my opinion. I mean, they are real people, but they're not trustworthy. Anyway, so verified people can essentially start to edit Twitter the same sort of way that Wikipedia is, so they can add context to certain tweets.
This initiative wasn't involved in policing speech, and neither was I.
No, they're not
Bitch,
policing
you
your
just
speech.
said.
They're just
Oh man, this
editing your tweets by someone who wrote a book replete with bizarre hypothetical scenarios about men being sexist to her on the street, deploying the same words they use on social media. One example being, "TikTok, that's the sound of your biological clock ticking. Better go home and try to make a baby before it's too late, sweetheart."
No eggs. You don't have any eggs.
By someone who wrote in said book that such misogynists should be arrested by the police. By someone who called Elon Musk a, quote, online abuser. By someone who said America was too free-spirited. By someone who said the lockdowns weren't draconian enough. By
Wow.
someone who literally tweeted, quote, "Force away, lock us down," and by someone who sang with zealous glee about wanting to step on her enemies.
I want to be rich, famous, and powerful. Step on all my enemies and never do a thing.
But according to
Never do a
Jankowicz,
thing.
she's a nuanced, reasonable
Step on all my
person.
enemies.
I have prided myself over my career of being a really nuanced, reasonable person.
Hold up, scary.
Bitch, you just said step on all your enemies and never do a thing.
Shudder-inducing and shouldn't
This
exist.
bitch is
Approved
crazy.
regime apparatchiks should have the power to edit and censor your tweets. The government, run by her,
And it won't
gets
stop
to
there.
decide
That's
what's
Facebook,
free speech
Instagram,
and what's
everything.
disinformation. Men should be thrown in prison for online misogyny and lock me down harder, daddy. So reasonable.
Reasonable person.
None of that sounds nuanced or reasonable. But it does totally sound like a narcissistic control freak. And someone who
It
shouldn't
does.
be in charge of anything remotely related to free speech. She also ludicrously claims that she was non-partisan.
To say that I'm just a partisan actor was wildly out of context.
You amplified the P
Wildly
dossier,
out of
a piece
context.
of actual disinformation that the regime pushed to try
That
to stop
bitch is a
Trump
demon.
winning the election. You
She a
ceaselessly
demon.
raged
She
against
worse than,
Trump before the election,
Amber Heard.
and amplified the actual disinformation that Russia interfered in it to help him win. You called on people to vote for Hillary Clinton, literally tweeting hashtag I'm with her, while claiming a Trump win would embolden ISIS. Trump actually destroyed ISIS. You were recruited by a left-wing anti-Trump resistance group in 2017. Your BFF is Taylor Lorenz, the hyper-partisan shit-lib journo who made a career out of doxing conservatives. The same left-wing activist who said you should be, quote, off limits from criticism, and you've got the nerve to claim you're non-partisan.
I'm just a partisan actor was wildly out of context.
Do you think we're stupid? Evidently, the answer is yes.
Wow. I fucking love Paul Joseph Watson, man. His Jones be on point. Here goes some more disinformation. Twitter exec Alex Martinez runs from James O'Keefe when he asks about disparaging Elon Musk comments and shit. And this nigga was really running, bro. Let's check it out.
Why are you running away from us? I'm James O'Keefe. I'm on the street in New York City trying to talk to this Twitter executive.
He was really running.
For a jog on the streets of New York. Excuse me? Excuse me? Why are you cursing him? Where did he go? Hiding? We're jogging here with a Twitter executive on the streets of New York City. Hi, Alex.
Having a nice dinner, no face mask on.
And you are on hidden camera, talking about Elon Musk. Okay. And you say that he is special needs, and he's quote going to say some crazy shit because he's special needs. You also are. Yep. You're also on tape.
He getting up to go.
Well, no, I'm just like, you're literally just trying to like capture me in the middle of my own dinner.
Yes. This is what you said to one of our journalists. You said, quote, "You're special needs. You're literally special needs. I don't even take what you're saying seriously because you're special needs."
That's not true.
Would you like to see you?
That's
saying
what
that?
you said.
Don't you also see his piece of? Why can't we just all love each other? Haven't you seen his other tweets where he's like, "I'm like you're special needs. You're literally special needs. Literally, though, you really are. So
You really are.
I can't even take what you're saying seriously.
Holy.
Because
You know you're out with a man and shit.
I'm good though, but like this is
Which part
a little
is-
inappropriate while I'm trying to finish having my dinner.
Well, I think
You ain't even paid, nigga. You just up and rolled out.
No, absolutely not. And like I said,
Are you?
that's
Are you?
not even it.
Are you saying that you
Harassed by people so that are coming on camera.
We're journalists. This is what the First Amendment. I know that you don't believe in the First Amendment.
I'm gonna just finish my dinner. So
Where did he go? Hiding? We're reporters. We're just trying to speak with him. Yeah.
You want to speak to him?
Yes. Yes.
But he doesn't want to speak to you.
Okay. Well, he already did speak with us. We have him on hidden camera saying some things. Why is he speaking to a restaurant owner about this?
I don't know. He said, so you want to speak to him?
Yes.
But he doesn't. It doesn't look like he wants to speak to you.
Okay. Are you? What?
I just work here.
Okay. Where are
You
the?
know, the Elon Musk bought the
What do you think about that?
I like it. But
Do you like Elon Musk taking over Twitter?
I like it.
Oh, he doesn't.
Listen, you can.
Hey, you're witnessing something happen in real time.
Oh, really? What's going on?
We're confronting the Twitter executive who said that Elon Musk has Asperger's and shouldn't be taken seriously, and he's hiding from us inside that restaurant. He was caught up in a sting. Fellow journalist here. We're just confronting Alex now, who's hiding from me in that restaurant.
In Betola.
What's that?
In my restaurant, Betola.
He's hiding.
This is his restaurant. Yes.
This is your restaurant?
I love Elon Musk.
Love Elon Musk? Oh yeah. Well, I don't think Elon Musk will like what he's saying.
So you know niggas gonna go eat
If you look
there.
through the glass, he's sitting over there, avoiding us in the restaurant. So this is you on video.
Yeah, thank you.
I look at you on video.
James, come on. Get the fuck out of here.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Get the fuck out of here.
Why are you cursing at me?
Dan, people are trying to have a private
Take it
dinner.
outside.
Yeah.
Dan, calm down.
Take it outside.
All right.
James, come on. Outside.
Dan,
All right.
Wow.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. They're hugging him. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, this nigga running.
Want to take a jog? Why are you running? Why are you running away from us?
They geeking off this
Why are
shit.
you running? We're jogging here with a Twitter executive on the streets of New York City who's literally gone in an all-out sprint. You shared an email with us. Why are you covering your face? Well, you already talked to us. You shared an email with us here where you said, it said, don't disclose confidential information. Do you understand the irony? You're literally disclosing an email. It says right, here's the email. I can read. Team, groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Right?
And you fell for it.
Sir, what is Elon Musk going to do when he sees this?
I don't know.
I'm James O'Keefe. I'm on the street in New York City trying to talk to this Twitter executive. Whew. Out for a jog on the streets of New York. See them? There he is. He's talking to the restaurant owner.
I got to look for that guy.
What's that? No, we already found the guy.
Oh, who is it?
Who is he? He works for Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Who are you?
I'm the owner.
Oh, hello.
Seeking refuge in there. How do you run in here?
I have good.
Maybe he's gonna go on stage.
You tell me.
Stand up. You can do that, Jay. Yeah. That would be good if you go on stage.
They actually got him going on stage doing some shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
About to go on stage with a videotape of this Twitter executive.
They're like, that's kind of cool. But then as soon as they get up in there about to expose him, he get up and roll out.
I'm following this Twitter person who's sitting in the audience. All right, here we go. Where am I going? Oh, there he is. He's turned around. He's turned around. There you are, mocking the special needs. Well, you have already talked to us, sir. You've already talked to us. You are mocking Elon Musk's Asperger's condition. And you are saying you can't take him seriously.
Yo, this Strife and Strife O'Keefe doing this shit is hilarious.
The Twitter executive is walking into traffic. He's going back and forth, zigzagging like he's got into a cab. He's got into a cab. That was crazy. And who are you? We're videographers. Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you, sir. James. I just followed this Twitter executive around the streets of New York after he was caught on tape in a hidden camera sting, mocking special needs people. Big things coming. Secret emails from within Twitter leaked to Project Veritas from this man. Talking about Project Veritas groups right now active to get social engineering tactics. Do not disclose confidential information to Project Veritas reporters. And then he proceeds to disclose confidential information. Hello there. Hey. And there's the owner of the comedy club. Ran away? He got into a cab and ran away. I was ready to go on stage live. What happened?
He wouldn't go.
He wouldn't go? No. Wow.
I asked him. He said no.
He said he wasn't interested. There you have it, everyone.
Yeah, man, this shit crazy, folks. You know what I mean? It only get crazier and shit. Let's check out some cool ass shit, right? Because y'all like tolerance, diversity, acceptance, and inclusion. Remember earlier on when I first started podcasting, I used to drop that line all the time: tolerance, diversity, acceptance, and inclusion and shit. Biological man powers to victory in women's surfing event. Yes, sir. This nigga look like fucking... I don't even... You know it's a man. You know what I mean? In another flagrant example of cultural insanity, a person who was clearly a biological man was allowed to easily win a prominent women's surfing competition in Australia. Surfing in Western Australia notes that trans competitor Sasha Jane Lowerson was awarded first place in both open women's longboard and open women's logger, whatever that is, Pride in Law. Western Australia longboarder Sasha Jane Lowerson, the first openly trans woman to compete in surfing, was claimed a historic victory in the West Coast Suspension Longboard and Logger State Championships this weekend. Wow. It's clearly a dude in a dress. This is from Mona. Males competing in women's division is the ultimate fuck you. The 43-year-old Sasha Jane Lowerson, who was crowned a man's champion 3 years ago, just won both the open women's and the open logger divisions in Australia by obliterating the competition and shit. He just won the man's championship 3 years ago. The nigga now owns a man's championship and a woman's championship. The first surfer in history easily to do it. You know what I'm saying? Lowerson would have won the men's division with the score she recorded. Surfing News 2022 transgender surfer Sasha Jane Lowerson, male, claimed historic victory in Washington Longboard Championships. And with his score, he would have easily won the men's division. What an absolute disgrace. Catherine Debs is right. I mean, and then y'all remember, y'all can go look at the trans woman episode of South Park. That shit is the funniest shit I ever seen in my life, nigga. My motherfucking, when they had fucking Macho Man Randy Savage do all the sporting events with the bitches and shit because he identified as a woman. That shit was crazy. And then he won the strong woman event and shit, and the person that was supposed to be in number one was number two. They got a meme if you go over to civiliantalkpodcast.com, civiliantalkpodcast.com, civiliantalkpodcast.com. If you don't know how to spell that, it's CIVILIANTALK, all one word, podcast.com. podcast.com. Yeah, I'm saying, get your ass over to civiliantalkpodcast.com. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Make South Park satire again and shit. We already know. Some more weirdo fucking newsery and shit. School board director plans queer night for children hosted inside of a sex shop. Nothing but dildos in her hand. She smiling hard as shit with that fucking bulging tooth and shit. School board director in Washington State plans. Is that ironic? That fucking the fucking surfer just won in Washington State and fucking didn't turn around as a Washington State school board fucking director and shit. And the Washington State plans to host a queer youth open mic night at a sex shop she owns and has invited all the children ages 0 to 18 years old to attend. Yes, really. Jane Madsen, a member of the Bellingham Public School Board of Directors, will hold a January 1st event on her Wink Wink boutique in Bellingham. Come share and hold space for this celebration and stage for young queer voices in our community, states a Facebook page advertising the event, encouraging all children ages 0 to 18 years old to attend. Manson's Wink Wink Sex Shop asserts, we believe that normalizing, accepting, and affirming all bodies, identities, and gender experiences is an inherent political act. Pleasure is our revelation. Manson also offers sex coaching to help couples achieve orgasms and advise how she can help clients pleasing themselves or their partner. Wow. This WACH Fox so this is a Fox News program and shit. That's where they from. Washington Channel, Fox, whatever. Jen Manson, a school board director in Bellingham Public School, owns Wink Wink, a sex shop delighting in expertly curated sex and body products, lingerie, and books. Wow, y'all got this bitch in charge of the fucking woke schools and shit. Y'all niggas ain't serious. The sex shop owner claims the event for children would be separated from the area containing sex toys, although Seattle radio host Jason Rentz wasn't convinced. The sex shop isn't living up to its promise to be inclusive, never creepy. This event is inappropriately inclusive and extremely creepy, Rantz said. The school district tried to separate itself from the event, telling Fox News that the community event is not sponsored by or our schools or school district. So why y'all letting her invite fucking kids? Like, what kind of weirdo shit is this? Open mic Wednesday, June 1st. From 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. You know they trying to bag some kids. She trying to suck somebody off. Fucking that's my boy style and shit. And yeah, man, it's just fucking crazy, bro. And I'll be back on the other side to close us out and shit, man. Don't move your motherfucking switch. It's your boy. Hey, George, what's your perception on the reality of this world?
Now, you see, when your identity is defined by society, you cannot resist it. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the resources to understand that something's being put over on you. You cannot but help believe the definition of you as a free agent. But you believe yourself to be a free agent as a result of not being free. That is to say, of being hopelessly unable to resist society's identification of you.
There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, but you have to be asleep to believe it.
Wake the fuck up, people. Should have final warning. So we back. You already know, man. I want to say thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for coming through, hanging with your boy and shit. Thanks for trusting us with your information and shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's my birthday, man. If you want to wish me a happy birthday and shit, you can just share the show, you know what I'm saying, or donate to our Cash App or PayPal. Just say happy birthday, and we'll definitely shout you out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we really appreciate y'all. Appreciate the big ups and shit, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all rocking with us, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate all the love and support y'all give to the show, you know what I'm saying? We know it's not easy to digest all this shit. We know it's trying times for all of us and shit. We all scared, including myself. I got 3 small kids, nigga. I got fucking, keep alive and shit. You know what I mean? Food shortages, food crisis, all that shit. God see fit to bless me and my wife with things and shit. And we really appreciate that. We truly appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Father. Thank you, Jesus. You already should know. You know what I'm saying? We keep it real. We live our lives in God. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't play around. But I had a chick try to bag me the other day and shit in my inbox. Like, yeah, it was good, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a man to keep me company and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, man, I don't fuck with my karma like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm a God-fearing man and shit. I'm married. She like, it don't matter what we do is what we... Nah. I am married. You know what I'm saying? I can't fuck around with no bitches and shit. Like, that's not my twist. It's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Real shit, like... I'm a very positive person. I like being positive and shit, and I don't take my life for granted no more and shit. She'd have courted me back in like 2011 or some shit, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I started changing and shit. I started seeing the change. I stopped fucking with certain people. I stopped being around certain places and shit, you know what I'm saying? I just started playing the field. I just started doing what I needed to do for me and my kids and shit. Make sure they can live happy and healthy and hearty and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you like me, then you want your family to be protected at all costs regardless, you know what I'm saying? Food shortage, y'all still got food, you feel me? No water, all right, let's collect rainwater then, whatever we gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Well, how you gonna do that? Rainwater barrels, you already know, you feel me? You know what I mean? I'm looking for solutions to problems, and other motherfuckers trying to put problems in my life. I'm good, I'm straight. You know what I mean? I ain't got no bread, and I don't want no vaccinated pussy, so I'm smooth. You know what I mean? Shit, and I'm bringing my whole family, like even my wife. You gotta be paying for everybody. Let's go to a movie, cool. You gotta pay for everybody though. You know what I'm saying? My kids want to see something. You know, you feel me? Just turn the bitch off straight from the rip. If you out there, you married, man, don't indulge in these fucking bullshit ass, good times and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had your chance for that. Now, God about to start calling niggas home. It's time to straighten up and fly right. You feel me? We dealing with pestilence right now. This nigga famine next. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know what's last. The pale horse. So, pestilence, famine, war, the pale horse. Death, nigga. The 4 fucking horsemen and shit. Y'all niggas better get on y'all shit. Stop fucking playing, bro. All that shit lining up. You know what I mean? And listen, man, I'm not one of them people that's just gonna just lay down for this shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have an issue. We're gonna have a big issue. A gigantic joint. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you try to come for me and mine. Our issue is gonna be super mega ultra. You know what I mean? But listen, man, I love y'all. Want y'all keep y'all motherfucking head up, keep doing your thing, keep letting it hang and swing, keep getting money and shit. You know what I'm saying? Be positive and shit. Pray for your neighbor, pray for yourself. Ask God for forgiveness and shit. Your sins and shit, you know what I mean? Just try to be better than you was yesterday, tomorrow and shit, you know what I'm saying? And stick to that, live by that, and figure out what God planned for you and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you already know, man. It's your boy, Mr. P.I., bringing you that civilian talk. Please wake up American news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow, you feel me? And yeah, man, at this rate, we might not have shit. And it's going to be a whole bunch of motherfucking unarmed populace on the other side of the planet getting smashed. And them niggas going to try to come over here and crash us, and we're going to be shooting. We're going to be shooting, nigga. We rooting, tooting, shooting over this motherfucker. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave, nigga. And Paul Revere just didn't alert people to the British was coming and shit. You know what I'm saying? That nigga he had a gat on that horse too. He was screaming the British was coming with a gat. You already know. So don't get played. Don't play yourself. And God bless and shit, man. And thanks for tuning in again and shit, man. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. And to know that you guys are trying to wake yourself up. And that's big. So until next time, it's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Young Greta Thunberg, this is Boris Johnson. Could you tell us, what do you hear when you hear Joe Biden?
When I say climate change, what do you think of? Blah, blah, blah. There is no planet B. There is no planet blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. We can no longer let the people in power decide. Blah, blah, blah. Did you hear me? What do we want? Blah, blah, blah. But it starts with blah. When do we want it? Blah, blah, blah. This is all we hear. What do we want? Blah, blah, blah. What do you think of? They say blah. When do we want it? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. This is all we hear from our so-called leaders. Words that sound great, But just look at the numbers. We can no longer let the people in power decide. What do you think? It's not blah blah blah. Of course we need constructive dialogue, but they now have 30 years of blah blah blah. They invite cherry-picked young people to meetings like this to pretend that they are listening. This is not about some expensive, politically correct green act of blah blah blah. There is no planet B, there is no planet blah. Build back better, blah blah blah. Green economy, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Did you hear me? What do we want? Blah blah blah. But it starts with blah. When do we want it? Blah blah blah. This is all we hear. What do we want? Blah blah blah. What do you think of? They say blah. When do we want it? Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Fighting climate change, corporate innovation, cooperation. They say they want solutions, and they're not holding leaders accountable for their action, or rather inaction. Blah blah. We need to walk the talk. Blah 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 blah. If this is what they consider to be climate action, then we don't want it. Blah blah blah. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Blah blah blah. There is no planet B. There is no planet blah. Build back better. Blah blah blah. Green economy. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Did you hear me? What do we want? Blah blah blah. But it starts with blah. When do we want it? Blah blah blah. This is all we hear. What do we want? Blah blah blah. What do you think of? They say blah. When do we want it? Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Woo!